exposure sites be put back in place, especially with reopening and people going back to pubs and stuff? Because our exposure sites still, will they be put back in place to be listed once we are reopening? Because they're not at the moment.
We will be looking at what contact tracing looks like in the New World Order. And yes, it will be pubs and clubs and other things if we have a positive case there. Our response may be different if we know that people are fully vaccinated. So we're working through a number of those issues, but we will have to reflect and learn.
Tell me you're an evil, vindictive, totalitarian hellscape without actually telling me you're an evil, vindictive, totalitarian hellscape. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Radowski of WeAreChange.org. Goodness, golly gracious, do we have a lot of disinformation, propaganda, and of course, sellout celebrities that will do anything for a buck that look like they are literally reading from the same script right now. We have a lot of news stories to get into today. Hopefully we'll be able to get into all of them. But yes, the video that you saw in the beginning of this broadcast is by the Australian public health chief that said her government needs to track, trace, and database everyone, contract trace everyone, know where everyone is at any single moment, just like the Chinese social credit score, to be a part of a new world order. Her own words promoting the globalist concept of a new world order, which of course has a lot of significant ramifications. They have a lot of meaning, especially in the context that Chant was bringing it up, specifically with denying people freedom, enslaving them, because they didn't do what the government wanted them to do. They didn't jump through the government hoops, which are very invasive and for some people showing to have a lot of very significant consequences for. During this talk about bringing in a new world order, she also talked about how businesses will be shut down if a person tests positive for sickness, patronized the business. Now, rightfully so, her using this term set alarm bells in a lot of people, with the term New World Order beginning to trend on Twitter. Twitter started to scramble desperately, trying to assert that all of this is just a conspiracy theory and has no validity at all, as their, quote, trusted fact-checkers debunked claims that it has anything to do with other powerful globalists who used the term before to promote their one-world totalitarian government ideas. And again, it's not a conspiracy theory. You literally see many prominent billionaire globalists, a lot of the people connected to individuals like Mr. Epstein in some way, literally use the term espousing their vision of the world where they have full dominance and control of the citizenry. This is not a theory. This is something that has been espoused and talked about for a very long time, now being promoted by a government that is telling citizens not to talk to each other. The same government that is also asserting that people will have to take endless booster shots, a country that literally has relocation camps and centers for people deemed sick or suspected of being sick, a society that has arrested people for expressing political ideas on Facebook, arrested people for trying to do peaceful demonstrations, arrested people for trying to see their loved ones, which they are denying the ability to see in their final moments, as they have some of the most strictest, insane, totalitarian, draconian, absolutely evil policies that are hurting innocent, law-abiding citizens more than any other government out there in the current Western world. Their policies have been eerily reminiscent of North Korea and China, to the ridiculous point where now the Australian authorities are confiscating alcohol from people who are under lockdowns. Yes, residents in Australia are being limited to a daily ration of 6 beers or pre-mixed drinks, specifically intercepting deliveries, making sure that residents don't go over their daily quota rations of alcohol that they could have in their own personal house. This is also the same government that, by the way, showed up to dog rescue centers and ended the lives of helpless dogs because they heard people might be coming there from other states trying to rescue them. Rescue dogs are being brutally taken out, having their lives ended because of these over-the-top, insane government policies that literally have their citizens get the crap beat out of them, all in the name of a, quote, health policy. The abuse doesn't stop with just normal individuals trying to live their lives. It's also innocent people that are reported on, investigated, and interrogated, as explained by this popular TikToker that talks about how she was reported for having allegedly shot a TikTok video outside. Police showed up at her door, almost made her cry, intimidated her, harassed her, told her that she would have to go to jail unless she showed everything in her phone, including this clip, which she showed to the police. Yes, police show up at your door, try to take you away, harass and intimidate you, and try to abuse you because of allegations and random citizens reporting that you went outside. This is the country that is also going to be implementing domestic permission slip passport systems, which will give the government control of almost every aspect of your existence. The Australian government already uses an online digital QR code system. That system will be revamped towards an over-the-top social Chinese credit score system, where the government is literally threatening people that they will be under house arrest unless they do what they are told to do. And this sounds like a perfect example of what a new world order would look like, as of course many people have been warning people that this was coming, specifically under the guise of a new world order, and here it is today right in front of your eyes. And it's not just one government bureaucratic, vindictive government official saying this term, as of course many Australian plutocrats atop of this criminal enterprise that hurts people in unspeakable ways are also using the same terms and words.
It's a 1 in 100 year event, so you can expect that we will have transmission from time to time, and that's just the way it is. We've got to accept that this is the new world order.
We must treat this new world order with a high level of care and caution.
Now, this term is nothing new for a lot of people paying attention, as even the Sydney Morning Herald described how Australians' efforts last year were going to present a, quote, roadmap for a new world order. And all of this was done with the promises, with the guise that this was going to help people, make them healthy, prevent them from getting sick. And even according to the New York Times, this is not working, and this is an idea that is absolutely absurd on its face value. It's also important to note here that Australia previously, before implementing a lot of these over-the-top draconian efforts, also implemented before this very stringent and, in my opinion, totally nonsensical gun control that essentially also disarmed the entire population. This was called a, quote, gold standard by many biased media organizations like The Guardian. Now, what's going to happen from here? How is the future of Australia going to be shaped? Well, it definitely doesn't look good or promising from here, as the government is only promising more very invasive, absolutely backwards measures that signal even more troubling signs for any law-abiding average citizen of that country. And this is exactly what happens if you relinquish just a little bit of your rights for temporary protection, which you will get neither of, as perfectly demonstrated about what's happening in Australia. And hey, we also made a t-shirt to represent this larger idea, which we made last year, since of course for many years we've been warning about this and talking about this very important concept and idea. If you want one, just go to thebestpoliticalshirts.com. The link is down below to check out the wide-ranging assortment of speech that for right now you could still express in the public. You'll get a lot of eyeballs, you probably will get some thumbs up, you might even meet some new friends by wearing one of these t-shirts. They're definitely not for shy people, but if you're looking to make some new friends, get the new t-shirts right now, which are still exclusively available to you on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. It's our own merchandising platform that is growing and expanding almost every single day. Now, I really wanted to talk about all the celebrities that look like they're literally being pushed in front of the stage to read from the same script, but to be safe, I'm going to save this specific subject for LukeUncensored.com, as of course I want to address that and other controversial issues, especially with the latest propaganda piece from Alternet, which is absolutely insane. But it's safer for me to talk about this issue on our own platform, and that's why exclusively later on today I will be releasing another video on LukeUncensored.com. Hope to see you later on there today. Now, just going over some other news items that definitely deserve still to be talked about. There is a financial revolution happening right now in El Salvador and in many other countries around the world that are making it legal to use cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. Now, of course, El Salvador did this in one of the biggest ways by making Bitcoin one of their official currency, which is going to have some very profound effects, as some people estimate that Western Union is set to lose $400 million a year due to this major move, as of course it costs almost nothing and is almost virtually instant that people are able to transfer funds from, say, El Salvador to the United States or El Salvador to Europe or any other place in the world, comparatively to when you use Western Union and you have to pay 10% to sometimes 40% in fees, which still takes a number of days to transfer your money to your loved one or friends or whoever you may want to choose to send it to. In the United States, the Biden administration is also thinking about implementing new policies, which will most likely also have a positive effect on Bitcoin, as we're getting the latest announcement that Joe Biden is thinking about proposing a law that would require financial institutions to report all transactions of all businesses and personal accounts with more than $600 to the IRS, which of course signals more invasion of privacy policies by this administration, which will look to tax, regulate, and take away more of your money from you. What does the Biden administration do with your tax dollars? Well, they're arming and equipping Taliban fighters in Afghanistan with some of the latest high-tech military gear that they could have ever imagined, while, of course, your roads look like this. Your tax dollars are also going to be spent on bringing in a new population of people, which the Democrats are certain will be voting for them, including some potentially very dangerous people, including some people with child brides. Other ways your tax dollars are being used are, of course, with big corporate bailouts and contracts to monopoly companies like Amazon that literally are reaping the rewards of top-level government socialism. And lastly, let's not forget that for the last 30 years, your tax dollars went into aiding, abetting, protecting, and facilitating a larger extortion operation that hurt thousands of children in unspeakable ways, all paid for by your tax dollars, protected by your police department, as your politicians, top-level celebrities, media moguls, tech executives all partied and did horrible things that we can't even describe here in this broadcast that would make your stomach churn. This, as of course we have the latest news of Prince Andrew fleeing efforts in order to be served a part of a larger case that is being set against him by many of his victims. The government, the BBC, the police departments, they have ample evidence, they have ample witnesses, but yet they still just look the other way when it comes to Prince Andrew, which shows you and highlights you almost everything you need to know about this top-level criminal organization that is looking to take more of your money and to redistribute it any way they can. And then they wonder, why is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency so popular? Gee, I wonder why. Why do you think? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you think I said anything wrong or incorrectly here, let me know down in the comment section below. If you dislike this video, click the dislike button. I always appreciate constructive criticism, and one of the things that still keeps me here is you guys as individuals taking small independent actions and sharing these videos with your friends, family members, loved ones, strangers, people at the grocery store. It doesn't matter. You just going up to someone saying, hey, you should check out youtube.com/wearechange. Means the world to me, and it's one of the reasons why we are still here, why we're so successful, and why we are still kicking some major buttocks. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.